A bottle of generic aspirin costs $4. The same pill in a brand name bottle costs $12. Nothing inside chain. The conventional answer is simple: branding. We're told that people pay for the name, the logo, the feeling of trust. Companies spend billions on advertising and we absorb those messages. We see the swoosh, we think quality. We see the apple, we think innovation. It's psychology. It's marketing working exactly as designed. Case closed. But let's test that theory against what actually happens in the market. In 1974, the US Food and Drug Administration required that generic drugs contain the exact same active ingredient as their branded equivalents. Same formula, same purity, same efficacy. Yet the price gap widened, not narrowed. If it were purely psychology, generics should have captured most of the market immediately. They didn't. Today, generics represent only about 10 to 15% of unit sales in certain categories, despite being chemically identical and costing half as much. If brand loyalty were just marketing noise in our heads, we'd see that ratio flip. We don't. That gap is telling us something else is happening. Here's where the narrative breaks. The real cost isn't the marketing, it's the information asymmetry. You don't know if that generic bottle was manufactured at the same facility, under the same conditions, with the same quality controls as the name brand. You suspect it might be worse. The brand has centuries of reputation riding on every pill. A generic maker has no such stake. But there's more. Brands create what economists call a warranty of satisfaction, implicit, not explicit. If a branded product fails you, you have recourse. You can complain. The company has a reason to listen. Its reputation is worth billions. A generic maker, you're buying from a company you've never heard of, run by people you'll never meet, with no public face to damage. This is the feedback loop that sustains brand loyalty. The more people trust a brand, the more they buy it. The more they buy it, the more the company can invest in quality, consistency, and customer service. That investment creates real measurable advantages, not just perceived ones. The brand becomes more reliable. The price premium becomes rational. Consider coffee. A specialty coffee roaster charges $18 a pound. A supermarket brand costs $6. Both are Arabica beans, but the specialty roaster sources from specific farms, controls the roast temperature to the degree, and stands behind the flavor profile. They have a reputation to lose. The supermarket brand optimizes for shelf stability and profit margin. You're not paying for logo, you're paying for accountability. Now here's where the system gets fragile. Once a brand has enough market power, it can raise prices without improving quality. The feedback loop inverts. Consumers stay loyal out of habit, not because the product is objectively better. The company stops innovating because it doesn't have to. Market share becomes a moat, not a measure of merit. This is why brand loyalty is economically rational up to a point, then becomes economically destructive. The system works when there's competition. When a market consolidates, when 3 companies control 80% of a category, the warranty of satisfaction disappears. All 3 brands can raise prices simultaneously. No single company has an incentive to undercut. The real explanation for brand loyalty then isn't magic. It's economics. We pay more for a name because the name represents a system of accountability. It's a proxy for quality when we can't measure quality ourselves. The premium is the price of information. The moment that system breaks, when brands consolidate, when quality drops but prices don't, the loyalty collapses. What's predictable then is this: markets with strong brand loyalty eventually face disruption. A new entrant, often a private label, often from a competitor's supply chain, will undercut on price while maintaining quality. Consumers will test it. If it works, the loyalty evaporates overnight. The old brand's premium wasn't worth anything after all. It was just a habit that hadn't been questioned. This cycle has played out dozens of times. In the 1980s, private label grocery brands eroded loyalty to name brands. In the 2000s, online retailers and subscription boxes did the same to retail. In the 2010s, direct-to-consumer brands bypassed both. Each disruption looked impossible until it wasn't. The implication is clear. Brand loyalty is only as stable as the information gap it fills. The moment that gap closes, the moment you can verify quality yourself, or trust another source to verify it, the premium collapses. This is why brands now fight so hard to control narratives, to own their story. They're defending the information asymmetry that justifies their price. The system is predictable because the incentives are clear. When you understand why we pay more for a name, not because we're foolish, but because the name solves a real economic problem, You can see exactly when that system will fracture. You can see which markets are ripe for disruption. You can see which brands are vulnerable. And here's the final turn. Understanding this doesn't make you immune to brand loyalty. It just makes it conscious instead of automatic. You'll still pay more for trusted names sometimes, but you'll do it knowing exactly what you're buying, not a logo, but insurance against uncertainty. That's rational. That's economics working. The bottle of aspirin still costs more than the generic, but now you understand why. You understand the system that creates that price, and you understand exactly what conditions would make that system collapse. That knowledge is worth more than the price difference. That's why we study how things actually work. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Subscribe to see the systems nobody talks about, the ones that predict what happens next. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.